Andre the Giant.
Andre, oh man, Andre, you know, I was really very, very close with him because, of course, the fact that, we spoke French and when he was in territories let's say Texas, Georgia, Florida, whenever he would come in, we would always ride together, and I had some great, great time with him. And then, he met my wife when we were in Minnesota, and, we were really close, very, very close. And I remember one time we're in Atlanta. That was funny because, I go to pick him up at his hotel. And so for the ride, and there was two ladies in the lobby, and they saw him, and they spoke French. But these ladies, I mean, they're in Atlanta. They don't know that we speak French, right? So they go on and, and they were maybe in their 40s, around there, and, close to 50 maybe. So she started making remarks, about Andre, about, being big, and maybe he's big all over, and Andre, with his big voice, well, madam, he says that in French, he says, would you like to come and see for yourself? And I mean, their jaw just dropped. They couldn't believe that a giant spoke French, in Atlanta, and they got God. I mean, but he was a good man. But I saw him, I met him first in '74, and unfortunately, I saw him. There was, he was lean and man felt great. He has good humor. He was a happy-go-lucky guy, And then towards the end, when the pain started taking over and he was hurt, he used to go wrestle and be hurt all over. And then he was bitter, because it was hard for him, I mean, think of it, there's not one place where he can be comfortable. And plus, there was not one moment, like sometimes, us, we'll go to somewhere and we'll have peace, but him, everywhere he went, everywhere. I mean, people were all over him. And, so he became, because of his, pain and stuff, he became impatient and he changed, he wasn't laughing as often, and he was hurt a lot. And that was sad to see the transformation, towards the end. I felt really bad about it. But Andre, again, it was unbelievable how he, for his size, what he would do in the ring, and his psychology and all that was amazing because he could hurt you like poof. I mean, this guy was strong, unbelievable. I seen him do things, moving a small car one night, and this guy, we were in Montreal, in fact, and this guy was a little bit drunk, and he kind of, he was parked, I guess we were parked close to him, and he got hot because we're too close to him, and man, started screaming, and then Andre comes out, and this guy see him, and Andre takes the car, and he tossed, it wasn't a really big car, but still, a car. And then he tossed him, and the guy just went like, oh man, I mean, he, there's a lot of stuff like that happened with Andre, situations that were pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember about Vince Jr. back then?
Oh, Vince Jr., yeah, he, back then he was like, the commentator, and had a good rapport with him, good connection, because I liked, back in the early 80s, I was really into working out and stuff, and we used to talk a lot about the workouts, and even though we didn't go out together or nothing, but whenever we see each other, we always had some good humor, good exchange, and funny moments, together.
Do you have any good road stories from that time period?
Road stories?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, many. Some that comes to mind. One night we're we're driving, and I'm with George Steele, Tony, and I can't remember who else was it. Anyway, like 4 guys, and there's a guy hitchhiking, and so we picked him up, and man, he sat between George Steele and who was the other guy? Another character, and man, and George going to his gang, and 4 guys there, with 4 big guys, he must be saying, "Oh fuck, what did I do?" Man. And I'll tell you what, before the end of the trip, this guy was sorry. I mean, I'm sure obviously the end he should have ran. I mean, the stories. Oh man, I remember a lot of them. I remember, in fact, what I liked about Vince Jr. too is that he was a guy that didn't mind going along with the ribs. And if guys wanted to make the atmosphere lighter, he'd go for it. It's like, so throughout the interviews, because interviews are long. We had long days, and I remember one night Barry Horowitz. He's doing some interviews. I mean, he's not doing interviews, but I mean, Freddie Blassie goes to, he wanted to, Freddie, was a good rib guy too. So he says to Barry, he says, listen, Barry, they want to, Vince has some good ideas for you. He wants to make you he wants me to manage you. And oh man, Barry's going, oh yeah, and we're gonna go with the fact that maybe you're an athletic guy, and you like to work out, so maybe while I do the interview, you'll be I say, okay, you do push-ups, you do sit-ups and stuff. So he goes and he says, well, 5 minutes, I come get you and do the interview. So we all clue to it. Everybody knows about the ribs coming. And Freddie's talking to Vince during the interview. Okay, yes, I had this guy very, upcoming guy. I'll tell you, this guy's going to be a big star and under my wing, the sky's the limit and this and that. And he says, and I'll show you how, there. And he had told Barry, he says, you'll do some push-ups with me on your back, sitting on your back. So okay, and then you'll turn and you do some sit-ups, and so, okay, so he goes in, so I said, okay, Barry, start, doing push-ups, so Barry don't know, and he takes his pants, Freddie takes his pants off, sit on him, so he's doing push-ups with Freddie naked on him, and I mean, and everybody's laughing, but, without him knowing, So he says, okay, Barry, turn around and, do some sit-ups, So Barry's so nervous, he goes to sit-ups and then he realizes he's sitting up, by the time he's doing the sit-ups, like about 2 inches from and now he doesn't know how to react because, he's so nervous about the situation. And there was some good humor. Hans Schroeder, I don't know if you remember this guy, Hans, big, true German guy, and Waldo von Erich, is here as a German, and Hans, like a big fan of Waldo, So again, Freddie goes to him, he says, Freddie, Hans, Vince wants to team you up, you and Waldo. And, oh man, Hans is so, fired up, and he says, the interview's going to go like this, He says, you start the interview and you just speak German, because he was an authentic German, and he was part of the German youth, in fact. So he says, and then, you speak German and just German, and then Waldo will speak, oh man. And so Waldo, Hans throughout the day comes to everybody, oh man, I'm going to be me and Waldo, and there's a tag team, oh man. He's all excited. And then finally, they start the interview and Freddie says, we have this team now, German team, and Hans is here, and Hans, tell them, what you're going to do. And also Hans, in German. And so, okay, Hans. And so now Vince is going, okay, well, what's he, he's asking him questions, all speaking in German, So now Waldo starts his interview. So Vince says, hey, Waldo, you have a new partner now, well, look at this guy, he's been here in the States, for so many years, and he can't even speak a word of English, and so, Hans is going like this, like, where's he going with this, and, well, anyway, me, I'm a general, and I wouldn't, him is just a soldier, and he's putting him down, and, Hans is going like, fuck, what is this thing, and everybody's starting laughing, and, I mean, there are so many of them, there's one story that comes to mind. It's not here at WBF, but I mean, when I first came in the States, I guess it was like my, when they have a young guy comes into a sport, I mean, a team or whatever, it's like an initiation thing. Mine was like, again, I was like, I was traveling with Tiger Conway Jr. and, that night we're going from Tampa to Miami. I think it's my first week in the territory. And, Terry, Terry DeFonks, I was like a big fan of them. And I'm in the car, Terry, Tiger, and I in the car. And we're traveling. There's a car behind us. I mean, a couple of miles behind us is like J.J. Dillon, Roger Kirby, and I can't remember the two other guys. So Terry goes to Tiger. I'm in the back, and I can only understand so much English, and I hear him say, "Hey, okay, we go by him, and I'll moon them, So we slow down, they pass us, and then all of a sudden, Terry puts down his pants and moon them. We're laughing, those guys, I'm going, I'm carrying on. And I says, hey, Rick, we do it, both of us, oh yeah, great, so I'm in the back and we moon them both and we laugh and high-fiving and, great, funny, So finally Terry goes, hey, he says, I'll tell you what, why don't we go, way ahead of them and then, we'll stop the car and I'll get naked and I'll run around the car, and everything. It's, oh, hey, I'll do it too, guys, so you see where that's going, right? So, and we're in the Everglades, So now we're naked, and I'm, I want to be part of the guys, right? I'm new, and I want to fit in, So we were both naked, and now we get off, we get out of the car, and then we see them coming, right? So we see them coming, and we both run, and I see, Terry gets he's sort of sitting right beside the driver, so he gets in, boom, and I go to get my door in the back, and then, and man, and they're naked outside, whoa, and they go,
Oh, wow.
And now, it's the Everglades, so where am I gonna hide, the alligators and stuff, so I'm like, wow, I'm nervous. So now the other guys are in the back and they're laughing. I'm naked in the middle of the road, So they want to go around me, but I'm like this, naked in the middle of the road. They're trying to. So they slow down, and then I go, oh man, give me a ride, please. They start, going, driving, and then pretty soon I can't keep up the pace, and I fell down, and they left me there, for I don't know how many minutes, but it seemed like hours, and cars would come and go hide, and so that was, the first night. And then after that, Terry got to be world champion, So I believe that happened in Florida, and I was really, kind of embarrassed about that, And then I'd go to Texas, I'd be working in Texas and everything, and then they'd say, oh, Terry Funk is coming next year, world champion, we'll be here for a week, I'm so, So right away, Terry would walk in the dressing room, oh, Rick Martel, guys, let me tell you the story. And then he'd go to Georgia, and nobody would know about the story, and then Terry would come in and he'd tell everybody, and oh man, everybody got to know about that, Rick.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.